I want to come back to the movement piece there and understand what types of movement and how much to provide that ideal stimulus to the brain.
Yeah. So going back to our ancestors, they they didn't go to the gym. They lived their life in the gym. They were always moving. There has been estimates. We talk about 10,000 steps is a fantastic, great number to get to. They probably got between 20 and 30,000 most days, just in doing what they do to forage and hunt and pick things and firewood and water and all that stuff. So movement is so natural to us. And the most I don't really think anyone needs to go to the gym. All right. But I think gyms are a great idea if you have to be at a job for 8 hours, which most people do, then you need to be a little more intense. So it's like you're overcompensating for your inactivity. So I think gyms are great. And while you're in there, just try to get as much variety in movement as you can. And you want to add some weight bearing exercise and some resistance training. So what I would say for most people, it's like if you have a game you enjoy, like badminton or tennis that makes you basketball that makes you move and evaluate things, you're creating complex patterns. It's like reaction response at a fast rate. You have to move in many different ways, and you're wiring up your brain in a very complex way. That's healthy. Metabolically, I think most people, again, this is not for people who do a competitive sport or as a goal for performance of some kind, but for most people, for metabolic health, all you have to do is a lot of walking. Ideally, I mean, if you have time, put in 90 minutes, 2 hours a day, break it up, do 30 minutes at different times throughout the day. And you get that movement in, you get those steps in. Then I think it's excellent if you can add something to that that's a little more complex. Because walking is awesome. It's the most foundational pattern in the human body, the cross crawl pattern. There's so much of our brain that's kind of wired around that. But it's also good if we can do something a little more complicated where we have to change things up. Maybe walk in the woods, walk on an uneven trail where you have to compensate and adapt a little bit. Because if it's just walking on a pavement, it becomes very predictable for the brain. And then it doesn't have to adapt. It just kind of locks into a pattern and keeps doing that a few thousand times. The more we can change things up, the more the brain is challenged and forced to adapt, and the healthier and stronger and more capable it becomes. And then the other thing that people should do, to the extent that they can, is some high intensity training, high intensity interval training. That's the equivalent of our ancestors being chased or chasing something. And you think about kids and dogs, they're not just going to walk or jog for the next 45 minutes. They're going to stand there, they're going to walk a little bit, they're going to rush, they're going to run for something because it's fun, right? That's what they do. Then they get tired, then they stop. What? That's an interval training. So that's kind of what's most, in addition to walking to get places, rushing short periods is also very natural and very healthy. So do some kind of high intensity interval training. The easiest way to do, if you can, is to run up a hill. That's very demanding. It uses every muscle in the body. You're increasing your altitude, so you're performing a lot of physical work. Your heart rate goes up dramatically very quickly. But you don't need to do much of it. So a lot of times I hear people say, oh, I do high intensity interval training at my gym and it goes on for 40 minutes. Like, no, don't do that. High intensity is a rush. It's like you're being chased by a bear. That doesn't happen for 45 minutes. It until you can run in behind something to safety, 30 seconds is all you can keep up with before the bear gets you. Or if it's some animal that can't climb a tree, you climb a tree, you're safe. And your heart rate goes up to near max in 30 seconds. So if you do one of those, and of course you want to warm up, because we're not talking about kids here that can necessarily get away with anything. You warm up, you can start walking fast up the hill. And if you're physically fit enough, then you run or you jog, and you increase it up to your comfort level. And then you check your heart rate. And if you warm up, it might be at 100. And then your first rush, it might be 150. So it's going to change depending on age. The older you get, the lower it gets. And then you rest, you get it down to 120. You do another, takes maybe a minute. You do another 30-second rush. You get it up to 150. You rest for a minute. You do a third rush. You get it up to 160. You're done. That's your workout. Because you got your heart rate up to within 3 to 5% of your maximum heart rate. You challenged your body. And in doing this, you increase your human growth hormone, you increase your brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is like miracle growth for the brain, for learning, for making new synapses and adapting. But that's all it takes. You don't have to you don't want to do this every day. And you don't want to do it for 20, 30 minutes. You want to do it just long enough to challenge the body, give it a message. Hey, I just pushed you. I'm going to do it again, and you'd better get good at this so you can handle it next time. That's the message you're sending body. It doesn't look for you to break it down, to pulverize it. You just want to challenge it so it gets the message to get better.
Since you made it to the end of this clip, I know you're going to love the full episode. Click here to watch. I'll see you over there.
High blood glucose is one part of the problem. High insulin levels is a bigger part of the problem. High glucose causes swelling, microvessel damage, blindness, but high insulin clogs up